Good afternoon, gentle viewers. Back for another one. In this one, I'm talking about The Rails I Tote, which is the second puzzle book by Christopher Manson. He wrote this the year after Maze, and shortly after this, in 1988, he wrote The Practical Alchemist. So within 3 or 4 years, he had completed 3 puzzle books. I think that's kind of impressive. After that, he didn't write any more puzzle books. He went straight on to children's books and illustrations. Excuse me. Anyway, there's going to be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't read this book or you want to solve it yourself, then just don't watch this video. Watch the last one, which was about Blueprints, which is the closest that Maze will ever come to a sequel. If you want to know about that, check the last video. This one, on the other hand, as I said, I'm not going to review this book. I want to talk about how we can sort of get an insight as to what Christopher Manson deems good clues and solutions, for that matter. And in some cases I like them, in some cases I don't. I'm going to go through some of the work in this book. Definitely not all of it. So this is the first one. It's sticking lamps, which is licking stamps, which is what the text hints to. I'm not going to go over the text, by the way. I'm just going to show you images here and sort of talk about a little about each one. In my opinion, this is a very solid puzzle where you can't really dispute it, and it makes sense. It's English language, English words. It's all pretty kosher as far as I'm concerned. This is where we start to get weedy. He uses the word girly for girly pates or pearly gates, which is what is hinted at. Already, this is the second one, by the way. Already he's starting to use words that are not even in the dictionary. The first one I got by myself. This one I didn't get at all. It totally stumped me, and I had to look up the answer in the back. And I was frustrated specifically because he uses the word girly. I'm looking for stuff that's in the dictionary, or at least stuff that's sort of more solid. Girly, in my opinion, it's on the border there. It's getting into gray territory, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, some people might think this is a dawdle, but I did not. I don't really have much to say about this one. I just think it's a really nice aesthetic. What I like about this book is that the images have a lot more breathing room. They have a lot more space than, say, The Practical Alchemist, which is chock-a-block full of clues in each room. Maybe not so much as Maze. I think I prefer Maze's illustration to this one, but this is definitely my second favorite in the trilogy of puzzles. This is my favorite picture in the whole book. I think it's a cool juxtaposition between the columns, the dinosaurs, and the women washing the floor, and of course the Tron floor, which makes it a very interesting image here. Of course, the answer to this one, well, not of course, but the answer to this one is shopping malls or mopping shawls. Again, I think it's a pretty good one. Nothing too out of the ordinary or outrageous. This one I do have a problem with because it's questionable as to whether the word here is... I mean, I know it's okay. I'll just say it. It's bunk gin or junk bin. So they talk a little bit about how they got junk under the bed. I got this one, but I have to give credit to the fact that I know Dungeons & Dragons, and a djinn is a type of genie in Dungeons & Dragons. There's other genies as well, such as a merid. If I went on the street and I said, hey, yo, have you seen that merid lately? People would be like, what the hell are you talking about? It's not common in the English language, and neither is the word djinn. It's closer to genie, but it's not, and I don't think that most people would understand that one. But there it is, bunk gin with a genie. Could Manson have done this image with the word genie? No, he couldn't have. He would have had to do something else. So, he had his ideas. I'm not hating on him for this one. I just think that when you're dealing with the English language and specifically puzzles like this, I think you got to be a little bit more basic in your language. Maybe I'm setting the bar too low, but I think it's definitely in the gray area of unfair. Now this is the opposite for me. This was completely cut and dry, tearing whales, wearing tails, as in the jacket with tails. I didn't need any help with this one. I didn't even read the text. I just looked at the image, and I think I came up with it in 4 or 5 seconds. For me, this was a dawdle. Maybe not for others. Maybe others would find other things easier, but for me, this was the easiest in the book. Brain cake, or cane break. Again, I'm mentioning this one because I think he colors outside the lines. You do have candy canes in the picture, but they're not broken, and cane break is not a common phrase. It doesn't really mean anything, and I would probably be second guessing myself with the brain cake if I didn't know that that was the answer. Bit of a morbid, kind of a German fairy tale feat to this one. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but they basically are eating their guardian. This is where Manson becomes a little more adult. He refers to these ladies here as tarts, but in the text it's clear that they're ladies of the nights plying their trade. It's 10 of hearts, or hen of tarts, is the answer to this one. I just wanted to show you this because I think that Manson does have the ability to be a little more cheeky and adult when he wants to. This one is brave grooms, or grave brooms. Again, a little bit more of a macabre theme, less of a children's theme, more of an adult thing going on here. Okay, this is my least favorite one in the book. For me, this is an F. This is a fail. The answer is bicycle tire, or tricycle buyer. Like, tricycle? Really, Christopher Manson? The tricycle? She's eating a pie-shaped icicle? Yeah, for me, this was a head and palm moment. Why'd you do this? Why did they let you do this? Sorry, I just don't like it. I don't care if you think I'm lambasting Mason for this one, but this is exactly the type of thing that makes you pull your hair out for Maze. It's like bad puzzles where you're kind of oh, would he have done this? Would he not have done this? Well, he did do this, so I'm sure he's done a lot more crazy stuff. There's a lot of naked people in the book, which I think is kind of funny. It should have been called The Bums I Wrote instead. Here's a picture of Manson. Maybe he was a nudist. No, I'm just kidding. Great book. I really like the art in this one. More, as I said, more than The Practical Alchemist. I guess the difficulty level is a little lower, except for the ones that I just mentioned, which are borderline unfair. That's really all I have to say about the book. As I said, this was not a review. This is just a testimony to the type of things that he considers acceptable. The next episode is going to be on The Practical Alchemist. I think that there is more involved than what he said about what the rules are. I think there's some hidden stuff as well. So I'm going to go into that. I haven't fully figured it out myself, but I know it's there. I know there's something there. So I'm going to be talking about that in the next episode, which I don't know when it's going to be, but it's going to be fairly soon, as I'm going back to work soon, and I have limited time to do these. So stay safe, and bye all.